This video is for educational purposes. Columbus is the capital and most populous city of the U.S. state of Ohio. With a 2020 census population of 905,748, it is the 14th most populous city in the U.S., the second most populous city in the Midwest after Chicago, and the third most populous U.S. state capital after Phoenix, Arizona, and Austin, Texas. Columbus is the seat of government of Franklin County. It also extends into Delaware and Fairfield counties. It is the core city of the Columbus metropolitan area, which encompasses 10 counties in central Ohio. It had a population of 2,138,926 in 2020, making it the largest metropolitan area entirely in Ohio and 32nd largest metro area in the U.S. Subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Columbus originated as numerous Native American settlements on the banks of the Scioto River. Franklinton, now a city neighborhood, was the first European settlement, laid out in 1797. The city was founded in 1812 at the confluence of the Scioto and Olentangy rivers, and laid out to become the state capital. The city was named for Italian explorer Christopher Columbus. The city assumed the function of state capital in 1816 and county seat in 1824. Amid steady years of growth and industrialization, the city has experienced numerous floods and recessions. Beginning in the 1950s, Columbus began to experience significant growth. It became the largest city in Ohio in land and population by the early 1990s. Growth has continued in the 21st century, with redevelopment occurring in numerous city neighborhoods, including downtown. The city has a diverse economy based on education, government, insurance, banking, defense, aviation, food, clothes, logistics, steel, energy, medical research, healthcare, hospitality, retail and technology. The metropolitan area is home to the Battelle Memorial Institute, the world's largest private research and development foundation, Chemical Abstract Service, the world's largest clearinghouse of chemical information, and The Ohio State University, one of the largest universities in the United States. The Greater Columbus area is further home to the headquarters of 6 Fortune 500 companies, namely Cardinal Health, American Electric Power, L Brands, Nationwide, Bread Financial and Huntington Bankshares. The city of Columbus was named after 15th-century Italian explorer Christopher Columbus at the city's founding in 1812. It is the largest city in the world named for the explorer, who sailed to and settled parts of the Americas on behalf of Isabella I of Castile and Spain. Although no reliable history exists as to why Columbus, who had no connection to the city or state of Ohio before the city's founding, was chosen as the name for the city, the book Columbus, The Story of a City indicates a state lawmaker and local resident admired the explorer enough to persuade other lawmakers to name the settlement Columbus. Since the late 20th century, historians have criticized Columbus for initiating the European conquest of America and for abuse, enslavement, and subjugation of natives. Efforts to remove symbols related to the explorer in the city date to the 1990s. Amid the George Floyd protests in 2020, several petitions pushed for the city to be renamed. A proposed rename for the city which first garnered notability in 2020 is Flavortown, in honor of celebrity chef Guy Fieri, who was born in Columbus before moving to California. Fieri, though not behind the proposal, expressed flattery and support for the name. The name is additionally noted by local media outlets as honoring the city's significance as a test market for various restaurants and as a reference to the city's culinary culture. The beer company AB InBev, through its social media page for its brand Bud Light, also backed the rename, offering free hard seltzers for the city if the proposal succeeded. Nicknames for the city have included the Discovery City, Arch City, Cap City, Cowtown, the biggest small town in America, and Kbus. Between 1000 BC and 1700 AD, the Columbus metropolitan area was a center to indigenous cultures known as the Mound Builders, including the Adena, Hopewell and Fort Ancient peoples. Remaining physical evidence of the cultures are their burial mounds and what they contained. Most of central Ohio's remaining mounds are located outside of Columbus city boundaries, though the Shrum Mound is maintained, now as part of a public park and historic site. The city's Mound Street derives its name from a mound that existed by the intersection of Mound and High Streets. The mound's clay was used in bricks for most of the city's initial brick buildings. Many were subsequently used in the Ohio State House. The city's Ohio History Center maintains a collection of artifacts from these cultures. The area including present-day Columbus once comprised the Ohio country, under the nominal control of the French colonial empire through the Viceroyalty of New France from 1663 until 1763. In the 18th century, European traders flocked to the area, attracted by the fur trade. The area was often caught between warring factions, including American Indian and European interests. In the 1740s, Pennsylvania traders overran the territory until the French forcibly evicted them. Fighting for control of the territory in the French and Indian War, 1754 to 1763, became part of the International Seven Years' War, 1756 to 1763. During this period, the region routinely suffered turmoil, massacres, and battles. The 1763 Treaty of Paris ceded the Ohio Country to the British Empire. Up until the American Revolution, Central Ohio had continuously been the home of numerous indigenous villages. A Mingo village was located at the forks of the Scioto and Olentangy rivers, with Shawnee villages to the south and Wyandot and Delaware villages to the north. Colonial militiamen burned down the Mingo village in 1774 during a raid. After the American Revolution, the Virginia Military District became part of the Ohio Country as a territory of Virginia. Colonists from the East Coast moved in, but rather than finding an empty frontier, they encountered people of the Miami, Delaware, Wyandot, Shawnee and Mingo nations, as well as European traders. The tribes resisted expansion by the fledgling United States, leading to years of bitter conflict. The decisive Battle of Fallen Timbers resulted in the Treaty of Greenville in 1795, which finally opened the way for new settlements. By 1797, a young surveyor from Virginia named Lucas Sullivan had founded a permanent settlement on the west bank of the forks of the Scioto and Olentangy rivers. An admirer of Benjamin Franklin, Sullivan chose to name his frontier village Franklinton. The location was desirable for its proximity to the navigable rivers, but Sullivan was initially foiled when, in 1798, a large flood wiped out the new settlement. He persevered, and the village was rebuilt, though somewhat more inland. After the Revolution, land comprising parts of Franklin and adjacent counties was set aside by the United States Congress for settlement by Canadians and Nova Scotians who were sympathetic to the colonial cause and had their land and possessions seized by the British government. The refugee tract, consisting of 103,000 acres, 42,000 hectares, was 42 miles, 68 kilometers long and 3 to 4.5 miles, 4.8 to 7.2 kilometers wide, and was claimed by 67 eligible men. The Ohio State House sits on land once contained in the refugee tract. After Ohio achieved statehood in 1803, political infighting among prominent Ohio leaders led to the state capital moving from Chillicothe to Zanesville and back again. Desiring to settle on a location, the state legislature considered Franklinton, Dublin, Worthington and Delaware before compromising on a plan to build a new city in the state center, near major transportation routes, primarily rivers. As well, Franklinton landowners had donated two 10-acre, 4.0 hectares, plots in an effort to convince the state to move its capital there. The two spaces were set to become Capitol Square, including for the Ohio State House and the Ohio Penitentiary. Named in honor of Christopher Columbus, the city was founded on February 14, 1812, on the high banks opposite Franklinton at the forks of the Scioto, most known as Wolf's Ridge. At the time, this area was a dense forest land, used only as a hunting ground. The city was incorporated as a borough on February 10, 1816. 9 people were elected to fill the municipality's various positions of mayor, treasurer, and several others. Between 1816 and 1817, Jarvis W. Pike served as the first appointed mayor. Although the recent War of 1812 had brought prosperity to the area, the subsequent recession and conflicting claims to the land threatened the new town's success. Early conditions were abysmal, with frequent bouts of fevers, attributed to malaria from the flooding rivers, and an outbreak of cholera in 1833. It led Columbus to create the Board of Health, now part of the Columbus Public Health Department. The outbreak, which remained in the city from July to September 1833, killed 100 people. Columbus was without direct river or trail connections to other Ohio cities, leading to slow initial growth. The National Road reached Columbus from Baltimore in 1831, which complemented the city's new link to the Ohio and Erie Canal, both of which facilitated a population boom. A wave of European immigrants led to the creation of 2 ethnic enclaves on the city's outskirts. A large Irish population settled in the north along Nagton Street, presently Nationwide Boulevard, while the Germans took advantage of the cheap land to the south, creating a community that came to be known as the Das Alte Südend, the Old South End. Columbus's German population constructed numerous breweries, Trinity Lutheran Seminary and Capital University. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. See you in the next one.